Hello, today's the 15th of October 2009. I'm with Terry Morgan, who's a chartered surveyor based in Belper in Derbyshire. And we're going to ask Terry a few questions about his job and his career. How are you, Terry? You all right?
I'm fine.
Good man. Right, Terry, before we start talking about your job, can you tell us, where did you go to school and did you enjoy your time there?
I went to school at Doncaster Grammar School. That was the last one. It was okay. I enjoyed it. It was a bit over-disciplined and things. Rugby and not football and all that sort of stuff. But it was co-ed, so it was okay.
And did you succeed at school? Did you go on to college or university?
I left school and I joined the Merchant Navy, so to speak, when I was like 16, 17.
Okay, and so if you can give us a summary of your career then, from school to now. So you went straight from school into the Merchant Navy?
Yeah, I went in as an officer cadet. I did about just short of 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
I got all my tickets and went up through the ranks. Then I got a command rank at the end, and then I sort of packed it in and retrained when I got married and started having children.
So what age were you when you left the Merchant Navy then?
31, 32. I think I left about September time, and I was 32 in November.
Okay, great. And then, did you know you wanted to be a chartered surveyor at that stage, or did you just come into this job by accident?
It's half and half. I didn't want a job that was inside an office all day. I didn't want a job that was totally outside or manual. And it sort of like fitted the bill as a halfway house.
Okay, great. So I mean, what inspired you to be a chartered surveyor?
Well, it was a good career prospect. You got good fee earnings and good employment prospects. So I thought if I got into it, I'd be able to earn a living to support myself and family and have a good life out of it.
And did you go to college and university? Or university? That's fine. Yeah. Did you go to university or college to get your qualifications?
Yeah, I went to Sheffield, got my degree, and then I went trained on a sandwich here at the district surveyor's office in Sheffield. Sorry, in Doncaster, and then in Sheffield after I got my degree.
Okay, so tell us, what do you do now then, Terry? What is your job nowadays?
We do valuations, but what I do like is things like the quirky jobs, which are a bit more difficult. We have a bit of a niche market doing compensation and compulsory purchase, which is quite involved. I also get involved in some detailed landlord-tenant disputes like dilapidations. But one of the other things is finding sites for people and putting deals together. Yeah,
so is that your niche market then, finding what people need?
It has been, but we seem to be caught up in doing bits of management now and landlord-tenant, and you have to do in our job what comes in.
Yeah.
You can't specialise and say, I'm going to do that, because lo and behold, you'll be doing something different.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So tell us, what's the best and the worst aspect of your job then?
Well, the best aspect is when you get a deal put together, you go and win a case at court, or you go and win an arbitration on a rent review or a lease dispute, or you get a new building that you hand over that you've put the whole deal together, and
you've got a happy customer at the end of it all, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like in Belper, we've got Goods Road, there's Roby's, Build Base, and Belper Carpets and Flooring, and the station garage. A whole row of factories there, or employment generators that, had it not been for us, they would never have got there.
Yeah, very good. And what's the worst aspect of your job then, Terry?
Oh, you get caught down in mundane stuff. The worst aspect of it is having to deal with local authorities, government departments, because they seem to be on a different planet to the rest of us.
Okay, great. So, what does a typical day consist of for you?
It varies. I spend about probably just over half of my time outside, travelling, looking at buildings, looking at affected areas of property, and then I come in and do the admin side. It's dealing with the paperwork on the jobs that you're dealing with specifically, but also doing the administration and running the company, like budget planning and getting insurances that you need and compliance with health and safety. That side of it you don't get paid for.
Yeah, okay, great. Now, specifically, what are the real satisfactions you get from your job then?
I get a reasonably good living. I've had 2 cruises this year, and we've got reasonable cars and a house and stuff. So, whilst I don't have the right to own the park, I've got the right to walk in it and enjoy it.
Yeah, good man. And specifically, what are the real challenges that you come across? The real nightmare scenario? What's the worst challenges that you come across in your job?
I had one last year where I got a client, he got a big factory, 110,000 square feet. Tenant got 7 years on a 25-year lease, left, rent review due, but he vacated it, wanted to get rid of it, and after he vacated it, the gypsies got in, and it was a wreck. About 1.3, 1.5 million pounds worth of damage. Problem was, the insurers didn't want to pay out, the tenant didn't want to pay out, and we're into a stalemate, and I managed to bang heads together with the tenant and with the insurers, get them to settle the dilapidations and the repair liability. The client got back £2.5 million, and I flogged the site when we got it back. Tenant vacated, just flogged it as it was for redevelopment. So when we got it sold for redevelopment, it finished up getting more than what it would have done, because nobody was going to rebuild a 46-year-old factory with £1.5 million worth of repairs.
Right, yeah, so that was a fantastic result then for you.
Yeah, I think the client liked it, and it's like when you do site finding, when you get a difficult one. For example, Nottingham. It's always been difficult to place motor trade, and yet we've managed to place 2 motor trade sites in Nottingham in the last 10 years, and it's sourcing sites.
Yeah.
It's sourcing sites that nobody else has got.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So now you're a chartered surveyor. Would you recommend this job to others now? To kids leaving school?
Yes and no. I mean, it's hard work. You live the life at your wit's end half the time. You know, you don't know where your next job's coming from, but that's the same with a lot of the professions. You can get a better job in surveying by working for a big practice which is more steady. But I work for myself, I'm self-employed, I've got a small practice on it, like 5 of us in the practice, and we have consultants to help us out on various matters. But what you don't have to do is you don't have to work regular hours, you can have a bit of flexibility, and if I decide I want to go and have a game of golf in the afternoon, I will do.
Yeah, okay, great. Now, if I was a student leaving college and I wanted to become a chartered surveyor, if I was only 16, 18 years old, what practical advice would you give me to get into that market?
Well, nowadays it's pretty much degree entry only, so you'll have to get an accredited degree, or if you do any degree, you can do the conversion course. But if you're going to do it, try and get some practical experience, like working with a surveyor or working with a estate agent of some kind, because that will stand you in good stead. It's like my colleague and partner, he came in by having an HND in building studies, and then he went and when he got his HND, he transferred and went and did a degree in surveying.
Yeah.
But he did work with a local firm in Derby, doing estate agency, showing people around houses and things, and doing it his way. He got a lot of background and depth of knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got these abridged courses now where people in degrees such as zoology can come into surveying and they haven't got no experience and no practical knowledge, and therefore they become, you know, no depth of knowledge means they haven't got the nous to resolve problems.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, great. Now, if you had your time again and could go back to school, and you could do it all again, would you change anything second time round?
On the face of it, no. But then I always thought that perhaps I should have gone and been a lawyer, but that was just for avarice, basically, because they would buggers charge what they want and get away with murder.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, Terry, now you've got all this knowledge and wisdom of working in industry for 20 odd years or 30 years. What words of advice have you got for a student leaving college today or school about the way of the world? Not about work, but just about life.
If you develop a work-life balance and a work ethic, you can't go far wrong. Because without the work ethic, you'll find it always difficult to actually motivate yourself and get things done or achieve things.
So never be frightened of hard work, is that what you're saying?
There are people that are frightened of hard work and they will never make a decision. They generally find them in government departments or local authorities because they're the ones that are at everybody's throats trying to keep things down, and they won't make decisions because they don't want to be held responsible for a decision.
No, that's great. That's great advice. Thank you very much, Terry.
You're
Thank you very much.